Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this episode, I'm going to show you how I set up my Lowrance HDS Pro units. We just installed a brand new exclusively Lowrance system that includes the Ghost Trolling motor, the two HDS Pros on the bow, and the two HDS Pro 12s here at the console. And we went up to bassboatelectronics.com in Knoxville, got that hammered out. They did a very clean install. Everything works great. And now it's all up to me to just make them fit the way I like to have my screen. So I need to customize everything. I've done it a little bit already, but I'm going to go through the entire process for you today, just so you know exactly how to set things up. And I'm also going to explain why I like certain screens the way that I do and certain settings. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with this right screen here at the console. And this right screen to me is so super important when it comes to finding fish, waypoint management, all that different stuff. This is the one I will use it while navigating and all that, but for the most part, I want this screen for my active imaging, my 2D sonar down scan, and also a zoomed in map, because this is what I'm using when I set down and start idling around and looking for fish. So this is a very important screen to me. So what we're going to do to create the screen, the perfect screen, we're going to go to pages up here, hit the page button, and then over here on the right hand side, you're going to see that you can choose either some of the presets here, or you can make your own. We're going to make our own. All right. And I've already made, the one that I like, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it and why I do it this way. So we're going to choose chart. We want some 2D. We want some side scan. We want some down scan. And there we go. We got the 4 different screens that I want, but this is not the orientation that I want. Now, the map, 2D, and down scan, these are fine in smaller screens. But I want to maximize the width of my side scan. I want it the width of the entire screen. That's very important, because if you just have a little tiny screen like this, if you just have it in a small little window, you're just not getting the details that you need to be getting. You want that wide view. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to change how these windows are. So I want this one right here, because you can see you got that wide window at the bottom. All right. And that kind of like just chose what window, what sonar goes where, or what goes where. And right now it has down scan down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to exchange that for this. All right. So that is essentially how I like my screen. Okay. Mapping on the left, 2D sonar, down scan, and side scan. So these 3 are interchangeable to me. They can go anywhere. I just have the preference of keeping my map over here and 2D down scan. But it's very important that the side scan is on the width of the screen. So I'm going to save that. So now we've got that. All right. So this is exactly what I want. I want the max, and this is not going to, obviously Sonar in my garage is not going to show up, but this is exactly what I want. One of the things that you can do is you can adjust the splits. Okay. So you can do this. You can even make your down scan or your side scan bigger, your map bigger, and make the 2D a little bit smaller. So something like that. Okay. Which is fine. That's a decent screen. I like that. And usually I'll have this screen zoomed in, because I'm going to have this screen zoomed out for navigation. But the next thing I'm going to want to do, I already have this feature where the sidebar disappears. And let me show you how to do that real quick, where that lives. And it's going to take me a minute to figure it out too, because I only do this once a year. And so we're going to go to Advanced User Interface, hide menu on. So this will automatically slide in that side menu after 15 seconds. So you don't have to manually do it. So I always have that, keep that on. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do that here. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Go to pages, go to settings, go to System, go all the way to the bottom to Advanced, User Interface, and we're gonna do On. So that way, when I go back to the screen that I want, well, we'll just wait for a second. After 15 seconds, this sidebar will end up disappearing. And we'll wait. There it goes. All right, so there we are. It disappeared. So that's what I want. I want to have that turned on. So that's another thing that I do. All right, so now that we have our page here the way we like it, as far as the windows, let's go ahead and change the overlay data. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit edit overlay. Going to go menu. We're going to add stuff. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to add is I want to be able to get some speed. So I'm going to put some speed here. And all right, so we've got the speed on ground, a speed over ground. All right, and I like to have that in the corner there just to be out of the way, but on the mapping, because that's where it's relevant to me. We're going to add something else here. All right, so we're just going to go through this just so I don't miss anything. Okay, another thing, nothing in there. All right, so we're going to get depth. All right, we're going to add depth, and this depth is going to go right here. All right, I want it on the 2D. I want to just be able to glance at it real quick and see the depth. Again, neither of these are going to show anything because we're in the garage right now and the GPS isn't working and the sonar isn't working. But all right, so we're going to add another thing. All right, water temperature. We're going to add water temperature. Water temperature works because we got temperature. I'm going to put that right there. Again, 2D sonar, I don't mind cluttering up the screen just a little bit, because the 2D sonar is just for something at a glance. But I put it on the left-hand side of the 2D sonar because this is the past of the sonar. So whatever's coming from this side, the right side, is what's happening right now. This is what was happening moments ago. So this is less relevant on this side. This is more relevant, so I'm going to keep everything on this side. All right, so I'm going to add more. I'm going to add more here. Time. Time is really important, okay? That's another thing that I'm going to add right here, all right? And time here, I'm okay with having, I don't know why the time isn't working there. Maybe it's because the GPS isn't working in the garage. But anyways, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to configure this one to make it medium sized, so you can change the sizes, so you don't have to worry about being able to squint to see things. So the time is there. I'm actually, now that I look at it, it's probably just going to remain small, but now you know how to change the size of those overlays. And then we're going to go to other, and we're also going to do voltage. Voltage, I'm going to drop down, yeah, let's drop it down here. Or in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to put it right here. I don't want to clutter up my side imaging screen, my side scan screen. So let's do extra small right there in the corner. The supply, is not all that important to me because I have the power pole charge system here that's telling me everything I need to know. But that's essentially what I want as far as overlay data on this screen. So this is completely done. We've created the windows. We've created, we've put all the overlay data we want. We're good on this side. All right, so on this side, so this screen right here, we're gonna go ahead and this is one of the presets. It's going to be a mapping and 2D sonar. So this is my navigation unit. When I'm running down the lake, this is the unit that's going to be zoomed out so I can see my mapping, see where I'm going, make sure that I'm not hitting anything, all that good stuff. And then I have the through-hole transducer that is telling me the depth as I'm running right here. And as you can see here, it's a little bit lopsided. So I have already done this, but it'll start out like 50-50 like this. I just want a little bit of the screen to be 2D mapping, and then or 2D sonar, and I want the rest to be mapping over here. All right, so we're gonna save that. All right, and we've already got the water temp right here. We're gonna go ahead and edit this overlay. We're gonna move water temp down here. We are gonna do depth right here, and I tell you what, we're going to configure small size. We're gonna go to medium, just so we can glance at it real quick. Speed over ground, let's go ahead and configure that too and make that medium as well. Another thing that I'm going to add is time. I'm going to add time again because time is money in tournament fishing. It's so important to know what time it is. And we're also going to change that to medium. All right, so that is how I like to have my side screen over here. It's just for navigation. So this is for finding fish, and for fine tuning things. This is for navigation. We've got the sidebar that disappears after 15 seconds. This is pretty much good to go. This is exactly how I like my units to be on the bow. Now, as far as let's get out of here. Let's save that. We got to save that. Make sure you save everything. So now we're here on these screens. The last thing I'll mention is how I like to set up my frequencies. So 83 kilohertz is where I like to keep my 2D sonar here at the console. That is a wide angle cone, so it's covering more of the bottom, more coverage. So 83, and I'm going to do something different on the bow because you don't want the same frequencies going because they'll interfere with each other. Same thing over here. Hit that. We're going to go to 83 kilohertz. For my side scan, this changes from time to time. 80 kilohertz is the high frequency on the traditional 3-in-1. Now the new HD active imaging HD transducer has it has much higher frequencies. But as far as my just regular 3-in-1, I like to keep it at 455. It gives you longer range. The 800, the higher the frequency, the less efficiently it will go through water, which it'll give you better detail in the short range, but long range, it'll start to black out. So I really do like to run most of the time on 455, and that's just what I'm used to, but play around with it. That's not a hard set rule. You definitely got to play with it. All right. The last thing I will mention here is something that I probably have already done. Let's go to mapping here. All right. So I've got my Navionics maps in here. One thing that I always do is go to chart options and I go to sonar chart on. So turning sonar chart on is going to give you more detail if you have Navionics cards in here. So it's 1 foot contours as opposed to the wider contours. So there you go. We are set. These two are perfect. Let's move up to the bow. All right. This is where we're doing our fishing. Let's get into here. Again, we're going to start off. Sorry, we're going to start off. So this is what we're going to do. So we really, on this screen right here, it's pretty simple. We're just going to keep it on active target because that's what this unit, this front unit, is designated for on my boat. So I don't use this for really anything else other than active target, whether it's scout mode or forward facing mode, or even, it goes 360. That's what this is going to be. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to System, Advanced, User Interface, and I'm going to do that hide menu. It's always very important. You don't want to have to lean down to make that thing disappear. Same thing here. All right, there we go. You see how important that is to have your menu hidden? You get all this space, and this is very important for active target. All right, so this unit, what we're going to do, this unit is going to be for 2D sonar, and 2 maps. All right, I'm going to show you the reason why I like that way. I'm going to turn down the brightness a little bit just so it's not too bright for you guys. There we go. That's way better. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to our pages. We're going to do a custom page here, and we're going to go ahead and do chart, sonar. That's the way I like it. And that's pretty much exactly how I like it oriented. So we're going to save that. There we are. We're right there. And the reason why I like to have 2 maps and a 2D sonar window is I want the 2D sonar to be able to just get a good quick snapshot of the depth. Okay. That's important to me. In just a real quick glance. This is for everything else, you know, finding structure, finding fish, whatever it is, following my bait, all that stuff. That's going to be done with the active target. So I don't really find that I have a need for side scan or down scan with either of these screens in most fishing situations. So I don't put them there. But the reason why I have 2 different maps is this is essentially my fishing map. And then this is my navigation map. So this map I have zoomed in. All right. So that allows me, like if I'm working a certain piece of structure, I can follow the same contour lines very exactly. Okay. And then over here, this one is zoomed out. And the reason for that is that, you know, if I'm fishing around this point, you know, on this screen, you can't see what's beyond the point over here. But on this screen, you can look at it and see, okay, there's another little kind of knob here, a little point. So I'll just keep on fishing. If you just had one map and it was zoomed in, you wouldn't be able to tell what's in front of you. So you wouldn't know exactly what you want to fish next. You'd have to, you know, zoom out to be able to see that. So I like to have the 2 different maps and that. But we're definitely going to add some things. So we're going to edit overlay, add speed over ground, doesn't need to be very big. Sonar, we're going to add depth and water temperature. We're also going to add time. Time's really important. And we are definitely going to add voltage so we can keep an eye on that. So voltage, we're going to keep down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Time, we're going to keep up here. We're going to put temperature down here. Depth right here. Speed on ground can be right there. Time, I'm going to make time big. I'm going to configure this so it's big. All right. So I know exactly what time it is. And that's pretty much it for that. All right. So that is exactly how I like to have my overlays. So in general, that is pretty much how I have my settings for my screens. You know, it's really, again, up to personal preference. Once you learn how to adjust everything and manipulate your screens and get exactly what you want, you can customize it to however you want. But this is how I like to set them up. I think it's very clean. I think it's important if you have the units to be able to keep them on certain screens, do so, because it's really, really super nice to not have to be changing screens. Even with these preset buttons, you know, where you can actually program these buttons to do certain things, even with those, it's nice to have your screens exactly how you need them and not have to change them. So anyways, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. And if you want me to cover a topic in a future video, make sure you drop a comment in any video. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm going to see you out on the water. Trust the process.